Everyone who has ever used or built an application using blockchain data knows how hard it is to rely on a consistent, fast, and trustable data feed. And today, even more, with layer 1s and layer 2s popping absolutely every day, there is the multi-chain challenge that needs to be solved, or should I say omni-chain. Blockchain data infrastructure is a space that is complex, heavily technical, and it has seen some players emerging over the past years with indexing solutions such as the graph that you might already know. But let's face it, we are not there yet. First, the developer experience is not very inviting. It is a complex space to navigate. The speed of the data streams is not fast enough. 3 to 4 minutes to get the on-chain data to your product. The formatting of the data leaves a lot of struggle for the developers, not even talking about omni-chain capacities. This simply doesn't exist. Today, I am proud to bring to you one of the most promising projects of the blockchain data infrastructure space. It is called Project Zero. Not only Project Zero addresses the problems mentioned before with a fast, reliable, practical, easy to integrate, and omni-chain infrastructure, but they go beyond with AI agents providing data insights from the on-chain world. But I'm not the one to tell you everything about it. Over the next minutes, I will meet with Siddhartha Jain, head of product at Project Zero. This month of December, Siddhartha and his team are listing Project Zero on Nexera Launch, the fundraising platform, and they will raise over 1.5 million for this first round, allowing their product to go to the next level. My intention for today is to draw as much information as possible from the people behind this project, so we will get to know Siddhartha in details, and we will enter the world of Project Zero, what market problems they're facing, how they're solving it, and what is in it for you. It is an exploration, a discussion, and its content should not be considered financial advice. For appropriate guidance on your portfolio, you must consult with an accredited investment professional. Now, let's make room for my conversation with Siddhartha. So my intention for today is to get to know Siddhartha, to get into the world of Project Zero and extract as much information as possible. Hello, Siddhartha. How are you doing?
Hey, Tristan. Good to meet you. I'm really excited about this recording with you and would love to talk about Project Zero, what we have been up to, and really appreciate your time inviting us.
Thank you. Thank you to you. I know you're very busy. Where are you calling from at the moment, by the way?
I'm based in Berlin, but I'm originally from India. And I don't know how long I've been living here, but it's a lucky day. Maybe you can see in the background that I have a bright sun, which is sort of a rare thing.
I don't believe you can ever possibly be in Berlin at the moment. I don't believe you. This is not Berlin sun.
Maybe that's background.
Okay, so thank you again for taking a bit of your time. What's happening these days with the Project Zero? How are you feeling?
Wow, that's actually a loaded question, right? I don't know where to start with. A lot of exciting times ahead for us. We also recently launched our, new website, all the details, things we are actually working with you guys on Nexera Launch for a fundraise. Amazing product lines which we had. They're also, getting a lot of, release, the public versions, the private versions and beyond. So yeah, I think we all are so busy in different direction, but it's really, really exciting times for us. Yeah. We know we are onto something special for the entire Web3 community, especially for the developers. Yeah, and we really just can't, wait to put things across and help the entire community.
Yeah, very busy times. For the record, I've been seeing from very close how this product is gathering the effort of your team and how intense you guys are working on at the moment. And so at least from where I stand and as a customer of your own product, starting to implement it here and there bit by bit, I can assert that this is an extremely committed team. So we will dive into Project Zero, of course. We will dive into the market, problems you're addressing, how you solve them. I'm also interested to get to know you. Siddhartha, as a person. So you are head of product at Project Zero. How did you get there? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Sure. I always say that my first love is technology. I'm a computer science engineering with my education. That's what I studied in my college and started really big tech companies as a developer. Went into consulting. I hate it.
You didn't like consulting.
But one really good thing that happened with me, it really intrigued some of the interest towards the business cases as well. Got me more closer to the users and the real world impact. And I think that was one of the aha moment in my career where product management was something which I never imagined to be in there. I really found maybe some of the natural instinct there within myself. And I think I could be a really good PM. I hope I am a decent one. And that's where, the entire journey began. So, I also went to a decent business school as well. Post that, worked in a fintech company. In fact, one of the largest fintech, I would say, software, where actually quite a lot of trading that happens through that.
Which one? Which one was that?
That was at Fidesa. And from there, I was committed to one thing, is to start something on my own with a couple of my friends, wear the hat of entrepreneurship. We had a decent gig. Of course, unfortunately, it didn't become that big as we would want it. So we exited. But it was one heck of an experience in my life where I was doing literally everything. There was no job description when you have your own.
Yeah.
You have to do everything. Eventually, later on in my career, in recent past to Skip, I've been leading products in a couple of Web3 companies. One of them is Glassnode, one of the leading companies when it comes to on-chain analytics, especially on Bitcoin and Ethereum. That was one of the exciting journey. Got me very close to what this plethora of data we have on blockchain, powerful things actually you can generate out of it. And from there, leading into product for Lava Network. L1 chain. It's rather an app chain on Cosmos Tendermint. So that was very successful journey. Then ending up before at Project Zero.
So that's interesting. You mentioned several experiences, and you started to get in. Yeah, so there is a fintech here, a little bit of consulting, but then there is a Web3 moment. And on top of that Web3 integration, you also discovered, and this is something that we're going to talk a lot about today, the world of data and on-chain data, and how you get a grip on the skill sets in your experience. So where did you get your first contact with the data world, the data infrastructures of Web3?
Wow. So I think with specifically to Web3, I think that I would rather attest to Glassnode a bit more. Having said that, my interest has always been that as a passive, I had a passive interest in the Web3 on the entire thing going on. Never invested in that point. But again, fan of the entire concept and technology out there. So I happened to, come across quite a lot of these amazing reports and some of the analytics which were just coming out, right? All I understood at that point was just proof of work, amazing statistics, coming in. And like one thing leading to another, I made a conscious decision at that point in my career to try to just get into Web3. It's an interesting space. Like I said, I love technology first before anything. And I just got an opportunity there to scale the entire product line on that. And I think it was something which I couldn't, ask better for. So I was just sitting literally on a gold mine, which is just data all around, and an amazing team of data scientists and engineers. And I think that was really fun.
So you've been quite early on. It's been a couple of years at least that you are used to have data, very skillful profile by your side to work on various products. I'm trying to understand when you actually started to manipulate those concepts related to data infrastructure and blockchain. And maybe one of the first times that you realized that maybe the market needed some improvements here and there, that infrastructure started to not feel sufficient for the needs that you had. When were these first contacts to the problems?
Well, wow, let me tell you something interesting to that. So prior to Web3, my last few stints were rather more on AI, right? And I spent like good deal of time in that. And AI, I know like this been blown up all across like a wildfire, but I think there are really good products and companies which were working on it, right? And from that point, so again, AI needs what? Big data. And this is where my exposure actually goes back now from, I think, easily 6, 7, 8 years from now on, if you see in the past. And coming into Web3, my first, what I realized being, part of it, broken all over. And to be honest, it actually frustrated me a lot at the same time to our teams as well. Because even the simplest thing in forms, what we have in blockchain, they are just not available. So instead of whenever we are working on, let's say, on a smaller feature, it took us 3 to 4 times more because we have to first solve the data related problem from extraction to everything in between, then moving out to our main target, to our main task. Whereas in the Web2 world where I came from, we had the luxury of having everything at our disposal. So we can, just play around all these amazing tools, the data sets, different open source libraries, some amazing enterprise paid tools and whatnot out. So it's very much sort of like solved there.
Let's take a little step back on the technical details that we can assume that some people listening to us at the moment know a bit of the problems that are encountered by developer teams when it comes to building decentralized applications or even centralized applications, but relying on blockchain data. Maybe just lay out the foundation of what it looks like for a product to interact with on-chain data for someone who doesn't know anything about on-chain data processing.
Yeah, just to keep this answer very simple, I will say that blockchain is nothing but just an open ledger, right? And every millisecond these days, we have kilobytes, megabytes, terabytes of data being produced, right? It's just grow and it will keep on growing. Will be in the future in next 2, 3, 4 years. Imagine how many gigabyte, terabytes of data will be sitting on. So this is going to happen. This is happening more even fast. Why? Because there are more number of blockchains and they're even fast. So now if you want to make any on-chain analytics out there, you can simply just get a specific type of blockchain data set running on a particular node. You can just extract that and you can simply analyze it. Well, story doesn't actually end here. The point from extracting is a pain point. Then in a certain format, you have to make it. Then you have to refine that particular data because you need consistencies. And there are other challenges within the blockchain. So sorry to throw that bit of a word there, chain reorg, right? And other issues with the consistency that happens as well. And then you'll try to make it into your format for your logic, which you will be writing. So basically, long story short, I think I said multiple steps from getting that data from node to your analytics. And this is what you all have to do just for making a very simple analytics out there. It's very complicated in that sense.
Yes. I like the simplicity of the explication. So we could range Project Zero in the category of indexing solutions. What is the first moment a developer in the blockchain space would need an indexing solution?
Well, indexing is one of the, I would say, products or solutions which we have. The scope rather goes beyond, right? How we say Project Zero is blockchain data infrastructure platform. And what we are solving is literally an end-to-end problem data set, right? We're happy to, break that down further detail down the line in our conversation. But having said that, like I said, that the entire data set is growing, right, in every second on all different blockchains, and you wanted to make your application as efficient as possible, give the best and the fastest UX to your end users, right? Whether you are a DeFi platform or anything else or gaming, you're not gonna, scan and find that particular piece of data point from a gigantic mountain of data, right? So you need a smart solution which is constantly monitoring, adding those specific data points which matters to you the most in the right form, in the right template, in the right logical processing which you wanted to do, so that it's ready to serve for your applications, right? And
Perfect.
we see that with some of the existing solutions out there, they have solved to an extent, but still not ready. This current wave of the applications being built around, and so I think this is where actually the pain point rather we found and realized, even with our team itself, all the background where actually we all come from, we all have actually faced the music, right? So we have been through those pain points. Even when we actually discover with the users, we also relate to that very well.
Yeah, so basic indexing is a good basic indexing solution should be able to retrieve events correctly about what happens on chain so that you get to manipulate the correct data that fits your use case. And that is the foundation for a good indexing solution only if the data is reliable, consistent, formatted in the right way so that it can interact easily with your own application afterwards. Understood. So then when there are some indexing solutions on the market, you started to mention that, some actors, some players started to address this. It is fairly common for a blockchain developer to use the graph, for example.
Yeah.
I'm sure in your previous experiences, you have used such products. So what is not exactly working as you perceive it in the developer experience? What is not correctly working at the moment in the world of indexing solutions? What room is there on the market for new products?
That's a very, very good question there, Tristan. And before I answer that, let's zoom out a bit, right? Let's see what's happening in the space. New blockchains are coming up, right? It's easier than before to create your own rollup. You can just go to a platform, like a couple $1,000, and you have your own L2 solution, which blockchain out. It's very easy, and we can see that how many blockchain networks are out there. So one is that. The other one is that the world is multi-chain, thanks to different amazing solutions being, like bridges, are very efficient, fast, and secure. That has made able all the retail users to put their funds all across different chains, and all the applications which we see are becoming multi-chain. Now, coming back to the point with the graph network as one of the solutions and with the indexers out there, I think one part, if we actually even start, when you actually have to create an indexer, there's no one size fits all. You have to create for your own application or for your own specific needs. Think of it like it's always a custom indexer or a custom development. And when you have plethora of data, it takes days to sync. So even before you start using it, it will take forever to sync and load up all the data. Number one. Number two, the real-time data actually comes across in minutes.
Yes.
I'm giving a user out there on the interface, let's say just simple as some prices, and it's coming 2 or 3 minutes late. We all know what's the volatility in the market, and it's already stale already. And last but not the least, who has solved the multi-chain problem out there, right? The developers still have to go and create several indexers, and then they have to mix and match after querying that data to make something out of it. How about, why can't you mix that? Why can't you run that over multiple blockchains? This is where one of the theses we actually worked on.
Right. Forgive me maybe to make you speak slightly about competition, but I think it's fair to try and understand what is the current omni-chain capacity that the graph can provide. So are they at least trying to tackle the issue, but they don't do correctly, or they don't even go there? Like how is that happening?
So, I mean, there is support of quite a lot of different blockchains, but again, it goes back to, you have to create several indexers for...
So it's multi-chain, it's not omni-chain.
Exactly.
Correct. Okay.
But having said that, can there be ways? I don't think so. There is only one solution. There are always many approaches, but it's really time. And I think we are late to that and solving that, because the entire market with a lot of blockchains have just begun.
Yeah. And transitioning for multi-chain. So I'm not as versed into the data infrastructure space as you are, of course, but at least on the user experience side of things, and having manipulated some products and managed some products here and there, wow, omni-chain experience is much needed. It's long awaited. Omni-chain should be a standard in terms of user experience. Already for 1 or 2 years ago, it's
absolutely
switching networks is something that should not happen anymore on any dApp. Having your network switcher in the top right corner of your classic desktop, the decentralized application, I don't see the point. I don't understand.
Exactly.
And as on any decentralized exchange or swap service, you have a transparent broker that is chosen by the app just to process your transaction, but you don't get to choose. At some point, we understood that it's not interesting for the user to get to choose which protocol is the best to proceed to the trading. It's just make automatic decisions. So right. I understand the market. So just trying to summarize there, we have indexing solutions that are good and efficient products for whoever wants to build a decentralized application with reliable, consistent data. But the problem is that happens to be quite slow on most of these indexers. It's multi-chain, but not omni-chain, meaning that you have to build several indexers for the several use cases, chains, or apps that you are managing. Then there is a part of, maybe there is an opportunity as well. So we talked about problems, but maybe there are some opportunities. You dropped a word about AI. Is there anything here that you'd like maybe to start and dig with me about AI?
Sure. I think this is a very interesting part. Again, going back to our experiences and observations with what's actually going around, right? One thing, what I think, let's address the elephant in the room. Most of these AI agents are not smart enough. What has been built around. They are very not just even experimental, but not enough. They don't even cover enough of the use cases out there. One of the reasons where we actually see is that with Project Zero, we can make these AI agents truly intelligent by providing and serving at a very fast pace and high value insights through data product. Right. So, of course, we have multiple solutions, indexing is being one of them.
We just talked about the two problems that the industry is facing at the moment, multi-chain versus omni-chain, and also the processing time of blockchain data infrastructure solutions. There is also an opportunity. You vaguely dropped master AI keyword here. So there is an opportunity to seize probably for this type of solutions, for projects like Project Zero, to seize the AI opportunity, develop new market segments. What is it to be done on that market with the AI?
Well, that's, maybe a two-phase thing, right? Because one part is what we can actually do with our amazing infrastructure we have in place, use cases, products with the AI narrative. And the other one is for the market itself, right? When you're actually building your AI application, certain agents use our infrastructure. One of the things, again, like going beyond to that, the product which we are actually working on, we rather researched it, is rather bringing the product analytics for all these apps. So one of the, if you see the challenges out there, the product managers, people like you and me, developers, co-founders, marketeers of all these amazing successful dApps, they actually still, they're blindsided by their end user. They don't know who is that end user and what they can actually offer to make their product better.
It's true. I have it with my own product. Like I have sometimes a lack of insights on who is actually using this application. Yeah,
absolutely. And this is actually a very big play out there. Having said that, as you know, that all these insights are drawn from quality data, and these data are sitting on the blockchain transparently. Right. This is where the Project Zero will, collaborate these two power. One is with our strength of having this entire data infrastructure with the products and getting to our AI agents the insights which we will deliver and dilute that for the end user, which means people working, let's say, for that particular dApp to know about their user segments / the wallet segment, if I could say, more insights and what things could be rather more attractive to them. And you can even make a simple decision, which is an effective yet, that on which particular next blockchain I want to deploy or expand my dApp onto, because you won't be any more blindsided where are your users interested or more active. Again, Web3 runs through community only, and if the community says that we are rather more active on exchange, and if you have that insights, can make a better and effective decisions out there.
So there is a big opportunity to seize. There are two problems that your team is addressing. You grew that market vision over time, working on products that were facing these problems. And now there is this AI opportunity coming in. I think it's the time to get maybe a one-liner, two-liners for Project Zero. How would you describe the project to someone who is fairly educated on Web3, but not necessarily in the world of blockchain data infrastructure? What is Project Zero, Siddhartha?
Well, to simplify that, Project Zero helps in making your application and AI agents truly intelligent and helps you solve with a plug-and-play solution with every data needs from the blockchain. Right. Although our scope goes a little bit beyond that, but let's rather stick to that. So we are essentially a platform where you just come, find your way of solution, all related to your data needs, and you can easily integrate and get that for your infrastructure, for your architecture, just like that. This is, I think, in a simple way, if I could put. And however, if I have to give a bit of a real world analogy, we are like a supermarket. All the ingredients which you can actually shop from. We are like rather, I won't say supermarket, but rather grocery, right? So focused only on grocery and everything around that. Simply how we actually have our products and solutions lined up are also based onto that with this. In fact, I'll expand onto that part. So one of the things which we have is about streaming, right? How we actually stream blockchain data, which regular PCs can't. To a real world analogy, it's like that you are making stir fry, right? For making stir fry constantly, you need a constant supply of vegetables. Right. In the same way, for our application, we are streaming the real-time data and even the historical data at a rapid pace with every consistency and checks in place. When we talk about the indexers, Tristan earlier in our conversation, which you can actually see with a simple analogy is about simply as baking a cake, because baking involves several ingredients in a very specific quantity, and you have to bake in a certain temperature. You have to be, precision is the main thing, right? We give
it
that,
makes sense.
Right. So we give right tools that you have everything out there in the right quantity at right amount is specifically right there to serve for making that application, because you don't have to go to a huge store for shopping specific things.
All right. Let's remain on this analogy that I was not exactly sure where it was going first, and then it all makes sense. The stir fry, then the difference with cooking a cake, right ingredients at the right moment. Let's remain on this analogy. Then who is your cook? Who is the person in that space that would be best served by Project Zero? Who are you addressing?
Yeah, I think the primary is definitely developers. The dApp developers are definitely the primary ones. All the tools, solutions, things which they actually have to face are them, right from extracting this particular blockchain data, refining them, making into certain formats. That is our primary go-to user personas. The other ones are also data scientists and data analysts. I won't say that that's cuts across all the solutions, but yes, to a good amount of solutions for data scientists, it's one of the key things, because all they need to start working on their research is the quality data and the setup in the right tool. So integrations, which is also one of the aspect here for them to actually start with. So we rather, put them into sort of in like a same bracket. And we talked about bit in the for our, future on this part, which we are working on with AI agents, powered some analytics around that. That cuts across bit on the business personas as well. people in product and marketing and co-founders. But that is not largely one of the, the personas.
It's interesting because how old is Project Zero, like branded as it is at the moment, as a self-sustained project? How old is Project Zero already?
Well, so I think we officially began our journey or brand earlier this year, 2024. But our actually root goes back into 2 years, like a couple of years back in 2022, because Project Zero was rather incubated within Nexera ecosystem. And goal was very simple: to solve all the data, blockchain data pain point within amazing products which are being built around the Nexera ecosystem. To find that solution, because those solution literally doesn't exist in the market.
Real rooted problem, addressing immediate company and project being born out of, we need to solve stuff, so let's do it and build a company around that.
Absolutely. It just, so, if you compare from then and now, because the problem is so much obvious and deeply rooted out of their industry, it made sense to offer that as a solution to access, to be accessible for all the developers and apps and blockchains. That's where, been the journey so far.
Right. So for all the cooks out there, our developers, the dApps, the decentralized applications developers, you mentioned also data scientists and product marketers, different marketing profiles that could use those data insights that you're going to provide as well. So 2 years in, already some multiple personas addressed, multiple key values that you're able to deliver to these people in their workflow. So how would you summarize the set of key features of Project Zero? What are the 2-3 killing assets that these cooks, these people should be sensitive to?
That's a very good question, because I need to sum it up in 2 or 3 points, right? I mean, as a fan of a product, I could go on and on, right? But I would rather say that, we are truly scalable, Project Zero. And how is that? Because among the features, if you will see, or the solutions which we have, from streaming to indexers and to our API, rich API endpoints and zero agent. The one thing which we really focused on scalability the most, we know how fast the blockchains are. The real-time data are coming literally in microseconds these days, in milliseconds these days. And this is something doesn't call for a very small, delay within that. I think that is something we actually put that across. The another feature I would say we were very always conscious about where the industry is moving.
May I just remain here and just endorse what you're saying about how fast it comes and how reliable it is? I've seen your demo. You've published a demo on YouTube a couple of days ago, or maybe that was a couple of weeks ago. And you're setting up, if I'm not wrong, a data stream. Was it one specific chain? Was it omni-chain? Whatever.
It's multi-chain, so you can actually select any of the chains which we support. Yeah.
Right. Fantastic. And from one interface, I was seeing this matrix of events being reported by the indexer, by this data stream, if I can say. That was quite impressive. It seemed to be extremely fast. Yeah, indeed. So that's one of the first key features: scalability, how fast it is. Okay. What is something else that you would like to mention?
Yeah. So as I said that, we are conscious about, the world is going multi-chain. The new blockchains are going to coming up. We made a conscious call to make it modular from the beginning. So any of the products which you will see across, any of the solutions we have, for us, integrating a new blockchain is a cakewalk. We don't have to deal with a lot of problems or need to think a lot how we can make it work, how can we integrate. We just made it modular. So what our also plans are is you can actually bring any off-chain data as well to get it served. So we know that we are going into a world there are hundreds of chains and things. Integration could happen. Maybe we can make integration happening more independent, and that cuts across all the solutions out there. So it's truly there compared to what has been out there industry, where it's still a problem. You have to still Google it and you have to find who's supporting what and which chain. That is something we've been very conscious. And I think this is one of the biggest strengths we have with this particular feature in that. And last but not the least, I think the major part is that if you'll see, we actually went beyond just serving these specific raw data just as it is. I would say like bit of a whole stack. Maybe it has like 2 features, if I would say, within one. So one thing we call it is like basically a block functions. And what it does is it transforms that raw data on the fly. So Tristan, if you would have a specific need that I just want only X, Y, and Z data point in a specific format, and I don't want a huge JSON file of data points, you can just simply define that in a simple JavaScript code. And what Project Zero does is rather streams, rather sends across the enriched data to you. So it cuts down a lot of cost significantly. The effort is minimal now, right? Even transforming that. But in that entire whole stack thing, we also realize that integrations are very powerful there because you are using different cloud provider storage solutions from Kafka to S3, Postgres, and now for the AI agents, you are running your GPUs, maybe you are renting on RenderNet or IONET, Akash network, you just name it. And this is also one of the strengths what actually Project Zero does is that you don't need any manual or mental gymnastics, even both, to go into 15 platforms, try to get the data, train and bring it to your infrastructure. Within just few clicks, you can just make it ready to have it available. We really like cut down the entire development time and, it's a very small time to market for your AI agents, for your applications, for getting this data right in your infrastructure in the right format you want.
You give me some sort of deep motivation to build some new products on the basis of an infrastructure that was not there before. And now that you think that you can access reliable data activable with AI insights, that's sexy. How about some of the milestones that has already passed Project Zero, the team? It's been 2 years that the project is on. You told us that it was born out of some real needs experienced within the Nexera ecosystem. Can you tell us maybe about some small or less small victories that the team has experienced over the 2 past years?
Sure. I think there are quite a lot of, amazing, innovative products being built within the Nexera ecosystem. Perhaps some of them I can't name for now as they would rather be launched eventually. But if you see across being supporting this entire omni-chain support across that, we have been very analytics focused. And I'm proud to say that one of the milestone has been that we keep things performant for a very complicated needs where other infrastructure platforms slows down significantly while putting out a message. It's too complicated, so it will be slow. This is something we never accepted that throughout among the solutions, right? So many needs, if you see, right from from the Brilliant wallet to funders as well, or now called Nexera Launch, and even Compilot AI across that. I think we are proud to support all these applications out there. And with that, the another very great moment with a lot of gratitude has been with the support of Nexera DAO, the entire community, who actually stood by our side our proposal on governance, granted a certain amount of Nexera tokens. We all obviously wanted to give the community back with the launch as well. And this has been, I think one of it was actually an outlier in the sense how we got the amount of votes for securing that. It's been, I think, a feather in our hat is what we'll see. The moment we also launch Project Zero on Product Hunt. Maybe I don't know how many people are aware about or have heard about Product Hunt, but it's really something you can find amazing new cool startups and products out there. So we were ranked as #1 product of the week in the Web3 space on Product Hunt. That has been like something. And I think maybe if it's not an achievement or a milestone, but perhaps, having this interest among from different blockchain networks in a different scope, either through collaboration or partnerships and beyond, it actually really helps us with the motivation because it ensures that we are on the right track, the problem we actually chose to solve. So far, we really never had any negative experiences or any feedback with all the conversations. And yeah, I'm sure in the next few months down the line, we'll see more comings out of it officially, the announcement being done on different sites and things.
How many people are working at the product currently?
So we are roughly around, I think, 15 in total. Okay. And yeah, I think team is, I'm lucky to have, working with these all talented folks out there. And we actually have people who are very, like the minimum experience in our team is also like 8 years. All of them are coming from Web3 background. Directly and indirectly, they were facing the music with blockchain data. So either they were working into certain DeFi or DEXs, some other were in analytics. So they actually had a fair share of their painful journey in that. So I think, which is really helpful, for making a product something like this.
We got a good grip on the general position of Project Zero on the market, the problem facing, the key features to address them, a bit of AI as well. Maybe there is a smaller entry door to the market that you want to talk to us about. Like what would be the first use cases that you can can serve them immediately very well, sort of your first go-to customers that you would like to address. You can even address them face camera right now to invite them and sign up on projectzero.io. What would be this use case?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, where there is on-chain data required, there is Project Zero there to help you and serve you with all the solutions. But, particularly interesting, I would say, when you have needs with building things at scale, and we understand all the products and companies out there rather smaller in Web3 because it's still a new space. They're all startups. We know that we are sitting on either limited budgets or limited team size and things on that. But rather, I would really, encourage when it comes to using things at scale, stop paying for these unreliable RPCs and using, your all the brain power and valuable time in running nodes and things. Maybe look for things for which are something bit different, not just with the constant, polling calls on that. Look into the solutions with our streaming, take advantage of it. We have had a lot of good case studies where, equal to 2 to 3 engineers from infra backend, that work can be replaced equivalent with Project Zero's tooling and all the solutions out there. I think this would really help at a very fraction of cost with a great performance and towards the, entire enthusiast who are actually creating these cool AI agents. Web3 is one of the biggest area where actually automation can really help in solving especially UX. For that, I would really say that, with our integrations also coming up with different infrastructure provider and GPU marketplace would really help you in getting that quality data and very well-defined data to your specific agents. You will have but more sophistication and you can really make your agents truly intelligent with that. I think these cases would really, really help to begin with.
And indeed, for good, reliable, fast data and some smart insights and processing of it. That's I was also very interested in the feature you mentioned about basically serving to me the data, just the data I need, in the format that I need. It's really sexy. Congrats to the team already, for having spotted on the market those needs and to address them. This is extremely relevant from what I know of the blockchain data infrastructure world. All right, you mentioned quite quickly. All right, sometimes we address smaller teams with more tight budgets. Have you already a stable business model in mind? How do you price Project Zero? Is this something that you want to talk about, or is it something that is work in progress as well?
Yeah, sure. I think we have actually finalized everything. It's just a matter of for us to release that. And I think in the next days or weeks, we can see that out there on our website. We will keep it simple SaaS model. We stick to one principle there that, you decide how you want to pay on your usability needs. We don't want to put any kind of, too many terms and condition and ifs and buts out there. We are working on this plan. One is, with the free plans, which gives you, limited usage so that, you can test around and for a small applications which you are building, trying things out. It's good. It's not a one-time thing, but, you can have it free forever. The other part is that, how SaaS subscription works, on certain price, you get certain usage and things around that. But one thing we also did is with the on-demand plan itself, because we know that there could be variable needs as well. Also considering that there is sometimes seasonality in the businesses. There are sometimes hype cycle for the dApps where you expect a lot of traffic in certain months and it doesn't justify to pay, extra all the time when you have low traffic or low consumptions out there. So we rather, innovated that, rather go with on demand as well as one of the offering there, so that with the changing needs, variable needs for these applications for the developers, they could rather go with that and keep things simple for their business as well. At the same time, it makes our business model a bit more not just reliable and more believable from a target users as well, but rather gives a bit of a flexibility for the user to switch between the prices as well.
Right. So a lot of flexibility. There is a free plan as well. So that's good news maybe for the blockchain developers listening at the moment. As a developer, I would be curious about the developer experience, and I would be afraid that it's yet another tool that I will take ages to implement. What would you say to them to maybe reassure about the first setting up time? How do I ramp myself up on Project Zero? How does that happen?
Well, it's just through clicks of button, to be honest.
There you go.
Don't want to overboard by going through different hoops for installing and setting things up 15 places here and there. We made an amazing UX there. I'm really proud of what we actually pulled so far with our UI, and UX is one of the killer, I think, in the dev.
Nice. It is not to be neglected.
Yeah.
The developers' experience, sometimes they're a little bit neglected in a UI UX perspective. It's a very good and important focus, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why it's in the industry sort of like said that, well, it's a developer tool. Why do you care about this? And why do you care about the UX?
I do have a take. I do have a take on this. It's a sort of meta industrial one. Blockchain and Web3 is a complicated space that doesn't come naturally to understand for whoever is not as nerdy as you and me, maybe. And I think that it's not the first space that you want to get involved to when you are even a high-end, senior, very experienced designer. And I think this space, just for now, hasn't made it to convince many talented designers to join those small companies that were building infrastructure tools, developer-oriented tools, or even customer and retail-facing tools. And I think if any of them is hearing me now, like, we need you, good quality designers, UX and UI. I mean, we have some very talented ones in Nexera ecosystem, but this general space is lacking some of them. What do you think about that?
No, it's actually right. It's I'm sure, like, we have not been able to attract a lot of design talent towards this side of the world, which is Web3, right? Isn't it? That's a very fair point. I'll give you for that. But yeah, I mean, see, there are, again, too many reasons, but I hope like we could solve one of them every day. Perhaps we'll see a day where the UX problem in blockchain is solved, the applications becomes bit more mature. I still think maybe people can think I'm biased, but I think Web2 products are way much mature in terms of the entire user journey and the UX. No one does it better than, like, in Web3. It's a bit of an exception now, right? To find something that beautiful, something more usable out there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I hope we'll be there among the products which we can compare with the normal Web2.
No doubt. Speaking of which, what would be your take between the whole centralized Web2 and decentralized Web3 architectures? The decisions that sometimes tech leads are in the urge to make when they have this infrastructure, this architecture for the apps to build, then you face the big decision: what do I pick? Where do I go? So, what is your take on this centralized versus decentralized world?
Yeah, I mean, before I answer that, there is also one of the reasons why certain companies, enterprises also does that, is just to justify having their tokens out there.
It's true. It's true. We all know it. It's a harsh truth, but it's an undeniable truth. Yeah.
But speaking in that, like, in two parts. One is like in general, and the one with the Web3 infra landscape itself. One is that, see, there is no harm and there's nothing wrong with being centralized, the Web2 architecture. We see that it works. We are using those things every day. Web3 is amazing as in the concept. If you see the power of decentralization, right? Like, take example of something crazy, like even Ethereum, right? One of the best example of Bitcoin, how powerful it is. Think of this render network where idle GPUs, anyone can just put it across, make it available, so that you don't have to go to pay a lot for buying this NVIDIA GPU or to pay cloud or everything. It's a very powerful concept. Having said that, end of the day, users care about their problems to be solved. They just don't want any solution. They want their problem to be solved in the best way. And no matter what it takes, a Web2 architecture or Web3 architecture, no one wants to see beyond that if the solution is working. If the payments between banks were instant, somebody would not have thought about that, making this Web3 whole thing, right? Because our regular fiat payments and the entire banking industry would have resolved it, but they didn't. Now there's a better alternate solution. And looking into through the lens of Web3 data infra, there is still the leading one, the biggest one. They happen to be the Web2 or centralized architecture based platforms. You can literally Google and see big names from Alchemies to QuickNodes and do whatnot to Infura. They're all centralized and they are the most used. They are even financially, in the sense, venture capital wise, they're also very big and successful, have a lot of interest. And developers don't mind using it because it's not a matter of principle. It's a matter of, does the solution is the best and can it solve my problem? Yeah. And this is where we also have the same mentality with Project Zero as well.
Understood. It's very clear. And I completely subscribe to your vision of the actual decision-making process of whoever has to decide between a Web2, Web3 infrastructure or hybrid. How fast do I get my problem solved and to what level of quality for my users? Definitely. What are the really upcoming in the next month challenges faced by your team at Project Zero? What are the upcoming things that you're working on that will take some energy?
I think, we have quite a lot of launches of different level of versions of these solutions coming up. Some of the products are still like in alpha, but, happy to even offer that to any of the developers out there. Just, reach out to us. Some of the products are out there to be accessed. You can pay and, start using it. So I think one is that, and having these many launches obviously takes not just a lot of time and energy, but the collaterals, the entire education, things around that. I think that is bit all over the place for us. How we want to tackle it, how we want to handle it across the board. Really cool, initiatives we have and different big features we have planned, which are going to take Project Zero to next level. One is obviously the Zero AI agent. One is that, and we are very, very excited, every day to be working on that and just to make it happen. But also trying to, get all the entire blockchain related data. So I think one thing, Tristan, I would say that we have pricing as well, and it's not a blockchain data, but rather use different oracles and things. We have Chainlink price feeds as well on it, which we actually fetch and can do that deliver. So rather give the entire flexibility for the developers to choose what information you want, even beyond just the node data itself, and get things a bit more in context. It makes AI agents, again, having more context, making them more intelligent. So we are really working on a bit more some groundbreaking foundational work. So yeah, really looking forward for the next few months for sure.
Happy for you and also all the team. Like this Zero AI agents narrative is very exciting. I understand your enthusiasm to start and work on this. Let's start to land this interview with the pragmatical aspect of why we're even doing it. You are raising funds soon on Nexera Launch. Why now? Why are you raising funds now? What is happening? How are you going to spend this money? Could you tell us a little bit about this fundraise round in general?
Yeah, I think this is also very exciting times for us, right? We are doing it for the first time for Project Zero, and as we promised that to the Nexera community, that whenever we'll have a token launch, the first takers will be the Nexera community itself. They get the first opportunity because of their help and support we came so far, right? And with this fundraise, our goal, our aim is to, raise enough to take the next big leap towards, as mentioned about these products, but rather maturing that as we have more plans in there with our capabilities to bring this entire data into a knowledge graph, turning into a very consumable insights with specific to our Zero AI agent in there. The other half we really wanted to push towards be the bespoke data infrastructure for the AI agents around. Quite a lot of amazing decentralized AI and GPU marketplaces and things, but we rather close the gap, bringing that data to these infrastructure itself. So our efforts is also going towards working along with these big networks, doing certain integrations. So as you can imagine, it's a lot of R&D, which is where we have entire plans and focus on this particular fundraise. We'll make Project Zero even, take it to a very different new heights as well. And yeah, we're very excited, to be doing it on Nexera Launch. Couldn't ask for a better platform and the better community to have this, this fundraise on.
Cheers, mate. That's appreciated. Very excited to have you guys also there. So you will find all the information about this fundraise upcoming on launch.nexera.network/projects. You will see there different sales. There is one that is organized for the new joiners of the ecosystem, and there are two other specific sales that will be dedicated to the people who have been following this project for some time, the Nexera community itself. And to get access to these sales, you can stake your Nexera. You will pick that directly on the platform on Nexera Launch on the staking tab. And by staking your Nexera, you can redeem some merit. If you lock them for 90 days, half a year, or a year, you redeem your merit immediately. And with this merit that you will burn during the sale, you will get better vesting conditions. So you will find those sales directly on launch.nexera.network/projects. Siddhartha, is there anything else that you want to tell to the people who are listening to us?
I think just the final note would be that it's an entire gold rush which is happening with entire in Web3, the entire wave of it. How exciting is it? And also specifically what's happening in AI, and see how easy it is to make those agents, the infrastructure being available. What Project Zero is helping, what Project Zero is doing is making shovels in this entire gold rush. And we really think that with the help and support, the lovely Nexera community and beyond, will make a very huge impact in the coming days.
Very exciting time for the whole data industry. And of course, it has to apply also to the blockchain data infrastructure. This is not exclusive to Web2. Siddhartha, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. That's an awesome project you have in your hands. Best of success for this upcoming fundraise on Nexera Launch. We're super happy to have you and see you very soon. I hope for maybe another chat. Maybe on Twitter, we'll have some spaces. Where can people follow you and the project?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Tristan. I think it was amazing speaking with you and, telling all about Project Zero and beyond from our plans and everything. Thanks a lot for having me on this particular podcast. And for Twitter, would really appreciate people to follow up. I will have all the details, which we regularly put that on Project Zero IO. That is our official handle for that. And I'm also on Twitter, fairly bit active out there. And my handle is absolutely Sid.
Absolutely, Sid, and Project Zero IO. Give a follow to Siddhartha, his team, his work. Give a follow as well to Nexera Launch if you don't want to miss these updates. And let's go. Upcoming sale for Project Zero very soon. Stay tuned. Thank you so much, Siddhartha. Have a wonderful day ahead. Ciao.
Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.